Hello,
Hey,
everyone. Hello, explorers, and welcome to our live show, which is today is what? It is it goes upside down. It is January 23rd. So if you're watching us a little bit later, this is a replay of our live feed, and we have some very special guests today. We have, introduce yourselves.
Hello, hello. I am Alanna ZIngano, and this is Rafael.
Hello, hello. Also known as cameraman.
We really appreciate it because we were just talking about it just a few seconds ago, and I think we were your first live guests on your show, if we were one of the first. So really cool. It's been a while for us to be able to get back together again, but we are very happy and excited to have you guys back on our show. So thank you very much.
Now, we're so excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Now, everyone probably knows who you are already, but we might have some people who are new to you. So if you guys can spend the next couple of minutes just describing yourselves and a little bit about you.
Sure, sure. So here on the channel, we do videos all about cruising, Disney, weekend getaways. We love to travel. And so a couple nights a week, we'll alternate between all three of our travel adventures, depending on, where we are in the world. And we love to share our adventures, and that's what we're all about here. And we have a lot of fun doing it.
Awesome. I must say, you guys are so amazing because every time I turn around, you're in some place different, whether
you're all over the place.
San Francisco to Florida to Disneyland, and I just think it's so awesome. It's great you guys are able to do that, and I think we all wish we could travel like that, but that's awesome for you guys. It's great.
Oh, well, thank you. We appreciate that.
We try to stay busy,
Yeah.
Hey, you do the way you guys do it. You guys do it right. So,
well, it's funny like, with us. Wow, with us, people would like comment on Facebook and say, "When do you guys ever work?" or things like that. But we haven't gotten that lately because we haven't been like going all over lately. Yeah. So, but I mean, we do work. It just takes time to, save up for the fun things that you want to do.
Exactly. The next adventure we'll have going on. So yeah. a little bit about what's going to go on tonight, you guys. We're going to just share a couple of news. I don't know if Greg's going to share one, so we'll leave that as a cliffhanger. I think
you said couple. So now you're committed to at least two.
Yes. I have one that I want to talk about. And then actually we have a little bit of fun news about Greg and I. He's not even going to be prepared for this.
He doesn't even keep me in a loop on these things. I'm at work and I come back here and this is what we're doing. Surprise.
So, and then we're going to, both of us recently have been on cruises. We were on the Norwegian Bliss at the beginning of December, and Alanna and Rafael were on the Independence of the Seas, which is a Royal Caribbean. So we don't want to share a whole lot about their information because that's going to come out on their blogs. I don't want to ruin it for everyone. But we are going to ask some questions because we are looking at doing a group cruise eventually, and Royal Caribbean is one of the cruise lines that we've been looking at. So we have some really good interest in terms of what they offer and what kind of things are on their ship. So a little bit, Greg, I think you should start with your news that you just heard because I think that is very interesting.
Well, one of our friends who's actually on here, and I hope you don't mind me saying what's going on, but Jay, our friend Jay, said that the NCL Encore, the trip in November was canceled, and I think we're all thinking it's because the ship isn't ready yet. So, hopefully things can be redone for him and everybody else. But that's really unfortunate that they're doing that. So
the NCL Encore is Norwegian's newest ship.
Yeah.
It's in the it's a Breakaway Plus ship, which is the same. It's a sister ship of the Bliss that we just went on, and it's the newest one. That the inaugural cruise was November of 2019, so it's coming up. So I'm sure it's not going to be that far behind it, but hopefully they'll be able to. Especially Jay, I know he was looking forward to the inaugural cruise.
But better to be able to do it. Better to be safe and have it ready and smelling fresh and new with fresh paint and everything than
having a shower and having a shower with no water.
Well, let's go ahead and I was saying hello to some of the folks that came on. We have Rob Fuzz, more sunshine, please. Hey, Jim. Let's see here. Just Pamela, Tina, the cruising librarian.
She was on our group cruise.
Awesome. And Cherry, awesome. Sunsets Travel, Find and Seek vlog.
MG Tao.
MG Tao, Jay McMahon, Just Pamela, and Matt Lake is on. Hey, Matt. So Tweety just came in. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming on here. And Jay said it was November 17th. So I'm not sure if that was the inaugural or not. I'm guessing it is because they canceled everything. So, but hopefully everything gets settled quickly.
MG Tao said, have you made reservations for the new Panorama? So Greg, Panorama is a Carnival ship. What is your reply to that?
That would be a no right now. I'm sorry.
So we are actually in February. We're
having debates about this.
Our friends, Adventures of David and Aaron. They're going to be on our show, and they are big Carnival fans. And they're on the show to persuade this guy to go on a Carnival.
Oh, is that why?
So
okay.
Yeah. So
sounds like California a lot of surprises for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why. I kind of heard nothing but bad feedback about Carnival being party ships and not good service, things like that. And you take everything with a grain of salt. So you hear good from people, you hear bad from people. I just kept telling Derick, I don't want to save all that money and then end up having a horrible experience. So maybe it's on older ships. I'm not sure.
You can have that on any ship. That's
true. But when you have majority of people saying, negative things, it kind of puts you in that mindset. So if I can hear more positive things about it, we're not really into party ships. We heard that the longer trips, like 7 days, those are less party because the 3 days is like just drink all you can, I guess, from what we hear. So I mean, I'm willing to hear things and maybe try it sometime.
We'll see. We'll work on them, but I'm open to going on a Carnival ship. We had also Rob Souter joined us, so welcome, Rob. The other news that we were going to talk about is every time Disney has released a new ship, and it's the first one in the class, that's the name of the ship. So, for example, the Magic class is named because the Disney Magic was the first one. The Disney Dream class is because the Disney Dream was the first one within it. Well, there was some, I saw this on DisneyCruiseBlog.com, I believe, which is one of my favorite sites, and I always seem to forget that. But that's where we go to look at the itineraries and look at their to find out what cruise that we're going on, to find out what they were doing day by day. So great information on that website. But they were talking about the new Port Canaveral and some of the changes because they're building another terminal. They listed it as the project is called Triton.
Yeah.
Disney Triton. So is that going to be Disney's first cruise ship? Which I actually think is a very good name. The Disney
be a cool name.
Triton. Yeah. As we think of Little Mermaid. So I think, is it? We'll find out. As I was looking at it, they were saying that last time they announced the new ships, it was at the shareholders meeting, which is coming up. So possibly soon we might get some information.
Maybe D23.
Or D23, because when we go this year to D23, we're going to be trying to go on the time that they have the cruise panel. That's what we really want to find out. So we're hoping to get some more Disney cruise information, but we'll find out if it is going to be called the Titan.
Yeah, I think if history tells you anything, it's definitely a good guess and a point in the right direction. So, I like that name. I think that would be a great name, actually, really strong and sounds like a nice massive ship because, we don't have really any details on that. So I'm excited to learn more as well, hopefully soon. So
we're still hoping our choice, number one choice, is the Imagination.
I was going to say that would be cool. Although that's kind of a long name, but the longest one they have, I think, is the Fantasy. Huh?
It's magical. Use your imagination.
I was like, wait, what? But yeah, fantasy is the longest name that they have so far. So imagination would be a little couple more letters longer. So
MG, he said this like several times. Disney should have an all-adult ship, and they should call it the Blue Bayou.
that would be kind of cool. Although I can't see Disney
They wouldn't.
separating children from not being able to go on the ship because it's Disney.
It would have to be a separate line within Disney.
Yeah, but they have adult areas specific for just adults and then specific for children. So I think it all works out.
And Disney World Adventures joined us. So before we get into our chat, we have one more information to share. And this is really ironic.
Do I know about this?
Yeah, you do. Because you were there.
I have no idea what
you're gonna find out.
No more surprises for tonight. Don't worry.
Yeah. So last week, Greg and I went to the dentist, and it's really coincidence that we both got in a car accident on the same day.
What? It wasn't even a car accident.
It's even more a coincidence that we rear-ended each other.
Oh,
we backed into each other.
Why would you even bring that up?
Because I thought it was hilarious. Because people saw us, and then they saw us because we were on our phones, and then they saw us pulling away, and I'm pretty sure they were just like saying, they just hit each other, and they're driving away from each other.
I said, where's your insurance? And he goes, whatever.
I said, you have a camera on your car. I don't. It's your fault.
Yeah, but you have mirrors also. And I told you I was backing up, and all I feel is boom. And it felt like bumper cars because the bumpers the rubber just hits each other.
I think you guys were still like in the Norwegian Bliss, you know, feeling like, you know, the
too much fun on the goat carts.
Yeah.
Yes, because I did get in trouble for hitting Greg and rear-ending Greg in the car. They told me off.
Did they really?
Yes, because you're going too slow and I couldn't get around you.
Yeah. Okay, let's just clarify this for a moment. I had a faulty car in the beginning. I was in front of everybody, and I kept like cutting and going like this, trying to get through the whole thing, and then they finally just gave me a brand new car. So it is not my fault, just for the record.
No, but then you get additional laps for that because your car broke. So no, so that story only counts for half of your trip.
We got like 14 laps out of it. You normally only get like 8, and they just let us keep going.
Wow.
We also had Dina cruising through life, who is from the wonderful town of Bakersfield.
Yeah, I think we did get a couple. Disney World Adventures is on.
Deborah Blankenship joined us.
That's so nice. 2 of her favorite channels. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to hold my phone too much, so I have it up against something this time.
And before we forget, last night we were on Jim's channel, More Sunshine Please. So if you guys didn't watch the feed on it, yeah, it was fun joining his channel.
We did our top 10 picks.
10, you're right.
10 for Disney songs, and it could have been anything Disney. And of course, you can't confine it to 10, but we did our best.
And the number 1 song was Who Loves Love Like That?
No,
Erasure.
No Erasure. Sorry.
Sorry.
We'll have to do an Erasure show, I guess.
No one would join it. Maybe 3 people would join it. All right, guys.
They're
enough
like,
fun aside. So thank you, everyone who's joined. We have 20 people watching right now.
This whole show is fun. What are you talking about?
Thank you for the likes. They're probably Rafael and Alanna are probably saying, "What the heck did we come on here for?"
No, we're enjoying this. Keep them coming. I mean, it's only the 4 of us having a conversation here. You know, keep spill the beans. You know, working more.
More surprises.
All right, so I'm really excited. So we've looked at Royal Caribbean as a possibility of us doing a group cruise. Just so you know, we are looking at September of 2020, and now we're waiting for a couple of other ships to become available because their itineraries have not been shown yet. One of them is the Encore.
We want some choices here.
So, but we were looking at the Symphony of the Seas in September.
That would be
so.
Fun.
I'm really curious because I've never been on Royal Caribbean. You guys have been on several Royal Caribbean ships. Which ships have you been on, and are they the smaller ones? Are they the bigger ones?
What do you like better?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about symphony, there's only Symphony and Harmony, the 2 biggest ones that they have. We went a few classes down. The biggest one we've been on was Independence, which we just got out of it.
Right.
We've been on Enchantment of the Seas, Majesty of the Seas, Vision of the Seas, I've been on Empress, and I think that's
it.
Yeah. So I've been on their smallest one all the way up to the Independence.
So we've hit a good range of their class sizes too. So Independence has been the biggest, like Rafael said, but it's seeing a little bit of the differences in between, which I like. And I'm excited for you guys for a group cruise.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing, and sign me up. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and definitely on the Symphony. Oh my gosh, like setting your expectations really high on an awesome ship. So
no pressure there.
no, it's a
one of the things
you're gonna be like, I think you'll be pleased.
I know. I just feel it's like when we met Mario, and he's like saying, okay, if you're gonna do the first time cruising, if you're gonna go to the biggest ship that they have, there's nothing else for you to go up.
Right.
And so that was one of the down the road. You guys are gonna see one of the interviews. He goes, start like somewhere in the middle, so you can see, okay, is this too much or is this not enough?
Right. But also, like, so we love, this, talking with other avid cruisers and, hearing everyone else's opinions as well. So it's just kind of funny because it's like who you talk to, and, everyone likes a different flavor. So it's interesting because we had a chat with Matt from Royal Caribbean blog, and he advised something a little different compared to what Super Mario said. So, all three of them, us, are avid cruisers on Royal, and we all have different opinions. So, it just depends on what you like. But his opinion was to go on the biggest, or one of the biggest at least, and just to see if you like it. But for the kind of the same reason. So, it's, some will say start in the middle, work your way up. Some will say go small. It's just who you ask and what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, perfect example. You guys went on the Disney, which I think is about 80, 90 tons. And then the Norwegian Bliss is about 160 tons. So double the size.
Right.
It's, what is it that you want? People are going to go on the cruise to hang out with you guys.
Right.
Do you want something smaller, more casual, more?
And the activities too are huge, because the onboard activities is where it really changes when you get on these larger ships. And I'm sure that's something that you're going to have us get into a little bit. But for myself, other people with children, people who are active, that's what really makes it fun. So
those are good points. I never really thought about going in the middle and working your way up. We either seem to big go or go home. That's kind of our model.
Well, the Magic wasn't too big, the Disney Magic.
No, we went on the Dream first.
Yeah.
And then we went down to the Magic.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Magic was nice. It was quaint, charming. It was, it was smaller, but I still enjoyed it. So I think the bigger ships, though, it's harder to see everything that it has to offer. I mean, even a 7-day cruise, I mean, you're lucky if you see half the ship, depending on what you have planned for the trip to begin with. So it just depends.
Right.
I mean, with us, with the 5 days that we were at, even trying to do the stuff that we wanted to see and to vlog about, we were like starting at 7 a.m. and going to bed like 11 o'clock, midnight to make sure we capture.
And there's a lot going on. So, but.
And I think another reason why we like that itinerary is where it's going. One is the Coco Key, their private island, which is one of the things I'm really looking forward to compare it to Disney's private island.
Yeah.
They're going to St. Thomas, which we really wanted to spend more time there. So we're looking forward to another visit to St. Thomas. And then there is St. Martin. I've always wanted to visit that. So those are some interesting ports that really makes it appealing to me. So that's one of our ones that we're looking for. Some of the comments in MG says we need to do a 2-week cruise, which unfortunately we can only do one at a time. That would be nice to do it.
And didn't he say to Alaska of all places?
Wow.
That would be a fortune to have to pay. I mean, I would love to do that, but. And
Just Pamela says 12 days is not enough. That's a good chunk of time right there, but 12 days you can do a nice transatlantic or Panama Canal. So those are some bucket list itineraries for us as well.
Yeah.
And then also, I think it was just Pamela who had said that, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but they were saying that Royal Caribbean is coming out with a new ship in the fall of 2020. I saw that as it was passing by. Sorry if I missed it, but I wasn't aware that they were building a new one that soon. So that's also interesting. Maybe we'll try that one since we tend to like the newer ones.
And Coco Cay, isn't that the
Coco
new?
Cay. That's a new island.
Or Norwegian, right?
No, that's
No.
Or
Royal.
Royal. Okay.
And it's funny the comment that the Blue Collar Cruise says Coco Cay's amazing. It's going to be interesting comparing Coco Cay with Castaway Cay just because one of them offers a lot of things for free.
Yeah.
And then with Coco Cay, like if you want the water parks and stuff like that, there's going to be additional charge for it. So it's just going to be interesting to see which one's going to be better. It's going to be great that both of them docks, that you don't need to do the 30-minute tender each way and waiting and high seas, low seas, and anything like that, which is going to be amazing.
Right.
But we'll find out in May when they come out with Coco Cay and with all the changes, because I think the dock they just opened up not too long ago.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just
No,
think it's
that's
going to
fine.
be kind of out of a different ball game, a different ballpark because of all of the extra amenities and other things that you'll have to pay for on there. That it really is just apples and oranges. Like you're paying for a whole different experience once you get there.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely.
I would probably do it once as far as the water park and everything. But I still think with Castaway Cay, it's their own special experience. You don't have to pay extra. You have an entire area just for adults. It's nice and quiet. For people that go on vacation just to get away from work, the city, sound, everything, and just enjoy the waves and stuff. I personally would love that. So last time we went, it was an awesome experience. And you can still get wet and you don't have to pay extra. So, I mean, and I know that at NASA, they have that water park, which we still have never gone. And we hear it's like,
Nassau.
Nassau. $200, I think, to get in.
Atlantis?
Yeah, it depends. Though.
Yeah, it's expensive. I know that.
Atlantis, the trick is do not book through the cruise company. It doesn't matter which one you're going. It doesn't matter Disney, Royal, Carnival. You go outside, as soon as you walk out, you can get it for like $50 to $75 for the pass for Atlanta. And that's what we've done the 2 or 3 times that we've gone to Atlantis.
I've only been twice.
I've been 3 times on it, and
or have I been twice?
You've been twice.
Or just once?
We want to at least go once. We want to do it at least once.
I mean, it's definitely worth it.
But we love Castaway Cay, so it's just different experiences.
Yeah.
So one of the things we'll talk about, just so it's in our minds to remind ourselves, because Jay asked about it, is the booze package on the Royal Caribbean. So we had the ultimate package on the Norwegian Bliss, but we won't start with that. But I'm curious, just on the Independence, what special features did they have on there? So, for example, on the Bliss, they had the laser tag and they had the go-karts, which were probably the big 2. So we'll talk about fun things for people to do on the cruise ship. What did they have on the Independence?
Well, they had a lot. Speaking of laser tag, they had that. So interestingly, that is a dual space. So the laser tag is also where the ice skating is. So they have an ice rink. So on days where there's not ice skating, they have laser tag. There's mini golf. There is a virtual reality bounce,
which was pretty cool. It's like you put like a virtual goggle on a trampoline, and you're playing a game, not knowing how high or like one of the videos on is like, oh, you're not jumping high enough. I'm like in the game thinking I'm jumping like 150 feet. I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
The flow rider,
water slide, escape room, rock climbing wall. I mean, they have like all of the big activities. No go-karts, no bumper cars.
Definitely no roller coasters.
No roller coasters, no extending arms where you lean off the ship. But I mean, a lot of great things that we didn't do at all. And I think, so Tweety made an excellent point that she was on the Allure and she didn't get to even see it all, which is the second biggest class size. So definitely a lot to keep you busy.
Did you say there was a zip line on the Independence?
No zip line.
So when I was looking up the Independence, I was surprised that it was so big. It's actually bigger than the Bliss because it's 4,300 passengers on there, which the Bliss was 4,000. And I was surprised that that until the Oasis class came in, it was the largest cruise ships. Yeah. It was built in 2008, and then you said it was just remodeled in 2018, and everything looked really nice and fresh on there. So that's really good news.
Yeah, yeah. First impressions were really nice. Today I released day one of the vlog, and it's funny because just rewatching it, like seeing my face of like, I was just like, wow, everything looks so shiny and new, and like that's something I really loved as soon as we got on because clean, it looks new, like you could tell it had
it's the new car smell.
Yeah.
That, you know, even though it might be the same car, it's just getting, you know, somebody cleaned
a really
it up.
nice detailing. So that was good to see.
And it did not feel crowded. That was one of the
Right. That was a big takeaway that I was super surprised. You know, speaking of the capacity, the ship is big enough that, you know, there was hardly ever did you feel that there was so many people in one section of the ship. You know, when you all leave the theater after a show, yeah, you know, it takes a little while to walk out, but that's really like anything. But for the majority, you know, you could find a pool chair, you could find
which was surprising,
seating at the theater, you know. So it's like people really do their own thing, and it's spread out, and it didn't feel crowded. So I loved that aspect, and I think layout of the ship also has an important factor to play in that. The Independence has what they call the Royal Promenade. I absolutely love that. And the easiest way to think of that is a big like shopping strip mall. So they have food and shopping, and it's like the hub of the ship where, you know, you can walk from the aft to forward and get from A to B and kind of move around. And I loved that class size of ship has it, and then everything else up has it as well. They call it differently. They call it like Central Park on the larger ships. But did the Bliss have any like Central Park, Royal Promenade?
That's actually interesting that you went into that, because that's what my next question was, because when I was looking up the ship, I heard about that. The Bliss had it's called the waterfront. So the waterfront is the promenade deck, and on the Bliss, it doesn't go all the way around. Like from what I understand, this Escape, you can literally walk around the ship. You can do maybe on this one, maybe 80% around, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
but what's
you can't
cool,
go by where the captain area would be. You know,
correct.
You can't go around that area.
Yeah. But what's cool about it is as you walk along, there's bars there that you could get a drink if you want. There's a bunch of chairs, kind of like what you would see on a patio with the nice, comfortable chairs. Yeah. There's restaurants that for outside seating. With a ship so big, I was amazed on the Bliss. There was so many quiet areas, and if one side, you know, is too hot in the sun, we'll go around the other side where there's the shade, and they're equally just as quiet. So the waterfront was a pretty interesting feature, and there are specialty restaurants. I know of, I think it was Cocina, there was Cagney's, Blue, Ocean Blue. I know those three specifically had spots where if you asked for it, you could sit out on the waterfront. So that was more of the unique thing. The shops were basically inside. There was a run of them, but it didn't have that feel of, at least like the Central Park feel of the Oasis or the other bigger ships on Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, it's more on Independence was a shopping mall. Yeah, it's enclosed shopping mall. I know with
or
the
like
Harmony,
the airport.
Yeah,
is that what it like reminded me of?
Whereas like the Symphony and the Harmony, it's actually outdoors, which can be a blessing or a curse depending if you're raining, you're definitely probably not going to be outside. But then again, you're not seeing the sky when it's indoor.
The only other thing that I found really interesting about the promenade was that, you know, they have the certain rooms with windows that look down into the promenade. So, you know, couple nights during the cruise, that's where they have the parties and the music, and they have, interestingly, like, I don't know what to call it, but like a deck or a stage. Actually, it would be a stage. So the band is on the stage and it goes up and down. But, you know, that's got to be kind of loud. I don't know. I haven't looked into any reviews on what those staterooms noise levels are like, but, you know, you get a cool view, some great people watching.
Yeah.
But I would be a little concerned if you were, you know, had young ones, or, you know, you were an early to bed type of person. I think it would be loud.
So we did have a question, Dinah Cruising Through Life, for RC, Royal Caribbean. I've heard that a lot of the places close early. Is this true? So maybe she's thinking of, like, you know, the ice skating, the bouncing, virtual reality thing you were talking about. All those special fun places, do those close early?
Well,
they close like 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Probably similar with the go-karts. They're not open all night or to 3,
Right.
4 o'clock in the morning.
But I mean, it just depends on the activity.
Open, but the promenade was open till at least midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. The shops close at 11, and the restaurants have varying times because, like, Sorrento's is the pizzeria, so you can get pizza all time of day. So that closes, that stays open really late. And, you know, it just depends if you do mean like the ice skating or the laser tag and things like that, because that's definitely like certain times of day. So.
How expensive were like ice skating and some of the other activities on there?
It was free.
Oh, that's
Serious?
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only one that you had to pay was the escape room, which was $10 a person.
I thought it was $20.
No, $20 a person.
Yeah, it was $20. We didn't do it. Honestly, it was kind of funny because you try and do it all, and just a 5-day cruise, kind of like we were saying earlier with just Pamela, that, you know, what did she say, 12 or 14 days was enough? But it's like, well, 5 days isn't enough with so many awesome activities, because we did the virtual reality bouncing twice. I had signed up for the ice skating twice. I only did it once just because we got caught up with doing something else. Only did the water slides once, did the flow rider once. And it's like, because we're the type of people where it's like, we want to do all the activities, maximize our time. We want to do it all. So it's like, we're bouncing around all over the ship. And that's the whole thing with big ships, is you spend a lot of time in transit. Yeah. You know, being on, for example, just to bring it back into a smaller scale perspective, if you're on the Disney Magic, 5 minutes, not even, you know, you're back and forth to one activity that's in the forward to another activity that's in the aft. You can't really do that on these larger ships. I mean, you can try and power walk, but that's the problem. Like, even if you were to power walk and not have anything to tie you down, to slow you down, but there's going to be so many people to zoom in and out of, it's just not possible.
It's probably with them, you know, with the Bliss.
Exactly.
You know, just going from one side to another for an activity. You're like, okay, what do we really want to go across the ship and then come back, or just stay here? And...
Yeah, we'd find ourselves late for things. Like, oh, this starts in a few minutes. Oh, let's go. And then it starts.
So Find and Seek Vloggers asking, are you allowed to be on the deck late, like past 12 a.m.? Do they have rules, like how late you can be outside like that?
On the deck, no.
Yeah, you can be out on the deck. I'm not aware of any rules. I was out late one night filming, and there's security that walks around and does patrol, but you're fine. There's what do you call it? For kids, curfews. They have
curfew for kids.
Yeah.
But I think we're all past that that stage.
But for adults, though, you can be out. You can sleep in a lawn chair if you want.
And then the silent disco,
or the hammocks.
Yeah, like
wow.
one of the nights she went to silent disco, like what was in the pool deck, and it was like at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning that they were doing the silent disco, which was pretty cool.
It was outside, so.
Just a couple.
I haven't done that before.
A couple of people that have joined us. Busy Mama, Parat. I can't even say it. Parat. Can you help me here?
Parino.
Yeah, there you go. My gosh, I got totally tongue-tied. And Arjons, Disney legend Arjons is in the house. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, guys.
Boy, I butchered that name. Sorry. And then another thing that for us, there was additional charge. So the go-karts were $9.95, and the laser tag was $9.95. So it's interesting for you guys to say that yours was free, where we had an upcharge on it.
And you kind of, for our first time there, you kind of had to, we found out you had to like get to this certain room where you had to book, you know, your shows and the go-karts and everything before they all filled up, because they have time slots, I guess, for that kind of thing, which is interesting.
That's what happened with us. So the Royal Caribbean app is pretty nifty with the virtual reality. You're able to make reservations through the app. So it's super helpful that you don't have to cross the ship to go to a place to make the reservation. But for ice skating, they didn't offer that. So the technology is there, but for some reason, they don't offer signing the waiver and making a reservation for the ice skating. I have no idea why that is. So with ice skating, you had to go. For example, the time slot opened up at 5:30. We went just at about 5:30.
No, 5 o'clock. You got there early.
For the one time I did get there earlier, because the previous time I had seen how long the line was. You had to wait in line, sign the waiver, and then by that time, the first time slot was full, and you would have to come back and select the time slot. And then the time slot I picked was when we had dinner. So then I just kind of messed up, and I had to wait until the other day. And then I was really worried the next day that they had it, that it was the last day that they had it. I was worried I would miss it. And that was something I definitely wanted to try, ice skating on a ship. So, you know, there's a lot to do. And I was actually surprised that they were free as well. MG Toe makes a good point that, you know, you kind of expect being nickeled and dimed, and it's something that can get out of hand, but it's nice when it's not.
Yeah, but I think it goes back to you pay for what you get. It's like buying an airline ticket. You can buy the $1,000 ticket, aka Disney cruise. You get everything included. You buy cheaper cruises, you get basically a la carte services. You want this, you pay for this. You want that, you know, you add the different to it, different costs.
Yeah.
So was the ice rink that big? Or I know my voice keeps going out. Excuse me. Was it that big? Like, did it fill the whole whatever floor it was on, or half of it, or what did it look like?
It was actually pretty small, and I did a couple things. So I went live and went live while we were ice skating. So that was a lot of fun. So a few people actually like witnessed it as I'm skating around the rink. And then
if you put 30 people in the ring, it's going to look full. If you're like 10, 15 people comfortably, you're not going to be just going 50 miles an hour, but it's enough that you can go out, you're ice skating in the middle of the ocean.
But also, like, no one's a pro on the ice there. So, you know, it's not like people are really doing laps around you. But
so it's ice then, because we've seen it where it's ice, and then it's like that horrible like wood fake stuff where they spray on a slippery substance or whatever, and you can skate that way. So, but this is ice.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Have you?
No, I think the best way, probably half of a basketball court. That's the size.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good size.
You'll see it in the day 2 vlog that's going to be coming out. So in the day 2 vlog of this trip, you'll actually see some of the ice skating show where the professional dancers put on a performance. That's really interesting because when you're watching, you know, the size of the ice rink and how they're zooming around and doing, you know, beautiful pirouettes and dancing along the ice and how they're moving and using the ice and using all of it. So, you know, it's big enough for them to do what they're doing, but.
So do you guys want to take the question first from Dina Cruising Through Live? Were there things you wanted to do that cost extra? Example, activities, food, and then we can follow you guys. Do you guys want to take that one first on?
Yeah. So we did all the activities that were available to us for the extra stuff like the go-karts and the laser tag. We love the go-karts. We especially with Greg complaining about it, and then we had to stop again because your hat. Because you had to wear like a sock on your head.
They had to fix
with the helmet on it.
Looks like you're wearing underwear on your head.
And it blocked his vision, so they had to stop the cars again so he could pull his helmet off to reposition his sock.
Yeah, they did it all for me.
So he had a lot of issues. So you should take Greg with you if you want to go on it because you'll get more laps on the go-karts. Unfortunately, with the laser tag, we were destroyed. I mean, you had 2 games. And when you got shot, you had to go back and re-hit the thing to get recharged so you were healthy again. And it seemed like you were just boom, 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 boom. And we would get shot once and we'd be dead.
Yeah.
So
we didn't even see half of that arena. I mean, that arena, we saw the map of the ship and it showed how big the arena part is of the laser tag. And we didn't even see half of it. You would get so far and I'm there like shooting the trigger, and then my gun goes out.
That's why we lost. He was shooting his gun.
and I have to go back and recharge it, and I'm like, this is crazy. So we definitely liked the go-karts way better than laser tag, and I love laser tag, but I just didn't enjoy that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Was it a permanent structure, the laser tag, or was it like a pop-up event?
No, this is permanent.
It was on top of the ship.
It's really cool looking.
So it was open to the air. So it started at, I think it was like at 5 o'clock. It might start later in the summer because for it to be dusk. But and then it was open air. We went at night. I think it was like at 8:30 at night or 10. I think we went at 10 o'clock at night. Something. It was dark when we went and did it. But it was different. It would have probably been more fun if we had people from our group cruise going with us. We went with strangers, so that was, you know, a little bit disconnected. But if it was friends playing against friends, I think that would have made it more exciting because there was 2 teams. I think we had like 8 people on our team on it.
And it was fun because during on our ship, they had a lot of like private events for different.
Right, there was a couple group cruises going on.
Yeah.
2 different ones actually. One was for like a book club or like a fan club for some authors, and then the other one was for
board games.
Board games, yeah. So I don't really know like how to describe this, but it was like a gamers community, but not like online game. It's like board game community. So you would see all over the ship people spread out with the board games and like fun, unique board games that we've never heard of. Not like Monopoly, like different stuff.
Not like the Ouija board?
No.
Yeah.
Stay away from that.
So that was cool to see that some large groups.
And I think that's what helped on ours because since you would go like by cabanas and stuff like that, you would see all the tables
Cabanas
taken.
is Disney.
Oh, okay, you know what I mean. Windjammer. And everybody's just sitting there eating, playing games for 3 or 4 hours, which made all the other events open, you know.
That could be a very fair point. I didn't really think about that, but interesting thought.
Cargo, do you have your passport ready to go on a group cruise?
Oh, she said she needs a group cruise on a cargo ship.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. That was pretty cool.
We need a
In case you didn't watch Cargo's show earlier, I saw part of it. I was at work, and she was trying to open up a pickle jar, so that was interesting. And then the poor thing got like a little cut, I think, from either the knife or the jar. But
I said
that one. Yeah, I said dilly dilly. I said, get it, dilly, like dill pickles, and she was laughing. So now she's making jokes here, so it's pretty cool.
So I don't know if we've said hi to some people, but I think we said hi to Bob and Ashley. I've seen them in there, and if we didn't, you guys apologize. We also have Donna Jaworski, and if I remember right, Donna's a New England Patriot fan. New England Patriot fan.
What's wrong with that?
New England Patriot fan.
It's a game, you know. You have...
When you are a
Go Bills.
Yeah, and is this mine or Greg? Oh, this is Greg's.
Mine.
Yeah, this is Greg's jersey.
If the Patriots play against the Bills, then I root for the Bills. But the Bills aren't.
That's ownership of the Bills.
Bills aren't around right now, so I mean, you gotta root for somebody that's in the Super Bowl. So, you know, I just like to watch the game for what it is. I don't get upset like everybody else does. It's not worth it. I just have fun.
So for the activities that you were saying that it was all free, right? The one there was one thing that you had to pay, and that was an escape room.
The escape room was the only thing that was paid.
And it seems to be open a lot. Like I'll go through the app, and
yeah, I actually have them behind you too if we need any of them. We saved all the navigators, cruise compasses, so for reference.
Jesse Robert Garcia joined us, or Garza, so welcome. They had the silent, like you're talking about the silent disco. I wanted to do that. That was very popular on the Bliss. They didn't have it that many times. I think they only had it like 3 times on the, maybe 2 or 3 times, no more than that on our 7-night cruise. And I wanted to try that. And what I'm sure it's going to be the same on the Norwegian or on your ship. What was that experience?
I thought all yours on that one.
You had to drag me out of there.
Both times I had to drag her.
I loved it so much. Like, not even kidding. I loved it. I love dancing. I love music. So this was amazing. If anyone's unfamiliar, you wear headphones and you switch between 2 songs, 2 channels. There's supposed to be 2 DJs playing 2 different songs. What this creates is people screaming at the top of their lungs or singing at the top of their lungs, having a great time. Everyone's dancing because there's one of the 2 songs that you can jam to, and it creates a really good time.
And then if you were like me, just
people
watching it, I'm like
hilarious.
And
it really was, because like people would be singing different songs and like
screaming on top of their lungs,
completely off key. And then I was editing this footage today and just like cracking up because it's like I can hear myself singing and then someone else singing a different song, and it's just like, this is awful.
No, but okay, so when she recorded it, she had the headphones on.
Yeah.
So she's not paying attention to her surroundings.
Right.
So seeing afterwards,
I was having a good time. Yeah. You've got to try it.
Tina, Tina, the cruising librarian. She was part of our group cruise that we joined. She said that there were 4 songs and they changed depending on where you were in the room. So a little bit different.
Really?
Yeah. So that's definitely interesting.
That's different.
We had more people joined us. We have Barrowwood Boy Woods joined us. Welcome.
You're just having a hard time saying names today.
And then we also had, I just saw him, and now they are going. What did I see? Dennis McFarland. He asked, have we done the Haven? No, we haven't done the Haven yet. We might someday. For those of you who are...
It was sold out by the time we got there.
Well, you could also upgrade. They had the chances for you to upgrade on it too. But the Haven is a private area that you pay more money on, and it's basically flying first class on an airplane, but it's on the ship. So they have their own... You have your own butler in there. They can help different things that you need. There's a lot more expensive. They have like their own private restaurant. They have their own private pool, spa. I mean, it's all pretty much, if you don't want to mingle with the commoners, there for you to just sit back and relax. That might be something that might be fun to do someday. But we really just wanted, we were common apparently, so we wanted to mix in with the rest of us, the commoners. But we were on a group cruise, so for us, it really didn't make sense for us to go for a haven room when the whole point of a group cruise is to go out and meet people. So maybe sometime in the future. But have you guys done the haven or anything similar to that?
We saw it when we were at the Norwegian. And I know the new class of Royal Caribbean is going to be something similar to it. So you're
and also Disney has concierge. So every cruise line has like their little taste of, you know, this VIP service.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't done it. For me, it's more, I'm already on the ship. Why I'm going to pay extra to do the same thing I can do for
to have a butler to stay in your room when we don't stay in our room anyway. So for us, it's not really beneficial. Maybe the one reason where like I've heard it's beneficial is like when you are traveling with a large family, and so like grandma and grandpa's with you and you got 3 kids, and so you already have a really big room, but then that's where it's like they've explained where it's beneficial, but for us it's not. So I'm not sure, but it sounds like welcome Lolita Loca, and they said that they were looking for karaoke. I love karaoke, but Silent Disco kind of seems like a free-for-all karaoke.
Yes, I was just about to say hi to Lolita Loca. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Is it Team Tony, or is it Team Jenny, or is it Team Lolita Loca? That's what I want to know. And
we both did go to karaoke on the Bliss, but
or as Cargo said, did we go to cargo okie?
Yeah. We it was fun, but we what was that?
I love it.
We didn't actually do karaoke. We just watched people. By the time every time we got there, they were cutting off the sign up list, so we just enjoyed it.
And Greg went.
Oh yes.
He was in the hallway practicing for 30 minutes doing his me, and then he goes in there and goes, thank God it's over. But yeah, we'd like to do that. We would like to do karaoke.
That was a fun little bar too.
There's so many activities on the ship that when you go, okay, let's go to karaoke, and you can't, I mean, you miss a lot. Like you said, you missed the cutoff on it. So that was one of the good things that we didn't do. Little Oz Laurel joined us. Welcome. Awesome. They're from Australia.
Wow.
I think our favorite bar, at least mine, it might have been yours too, was the Mojito Bar.
Okay, so that'll be our next category. Let's talk about the bars on the ship. How many?
Well, I didn't mean to change the category. Well, I'm just saying.
Because we'll go from bars to restaurants. How about that?
But Mojito Bar was a lot of fun. I personally love mojitos. They're very sweet, and I love sweet drinks. So, but I think that was really our meetup place for like a lot of our, like when we were going to go on excursions and things, we all met there. When we were going to do the cabin crawls or bar
centrally
crawls,
located
we all met
too.
Yeah.
So it was
we all met there. And they also had, they call him the Chocolate Cowboy. I forgot his real name now.
Clarence or something like that?
Yeah.
Was it Clarice, or is that from that movie? Clarice?
I'm not sure. You're thinking of Silence of the Lambs now.
I think it was Clarence.
But he was a really fun, nice guy. And then, so the drink that he was famous for, you can go ahead and tell them.
The drink, I think it was called Slap Me on the Ass is the name of the drink. And you would have to go up there and ask it. Now, if you ask that to another waiter, he might actually do that to you. But
and I asked for like 8 of those at once, and he was like, he made a face at me, and I'm like thinking, I just want the drink because I was trying to get it for everybody around me. So
it's Jenny from Lolita Loca. Welcome. And then we have Maureen Kirk join us. Thank you. This is our first time watching, she says. And looks what she joined into
I know.
the moment of the conversation. So we're not always like this, but
it's just what the drink is called, so we have to say the name.
Yeah, and there's like 7 There was like Bailey's, there was Kahlua, there was all these sweet drinks. It was kind of like a coffee, like coffee with a lot of cream in it.
Yeah.
But other waiters
not
won't
much either.
serve that drink because when someone try to order it, he says, no, only the chocolate cowboy does it, and he'll be starting in 30 minutes. So it's specifically a drink that he makes
That's
up.
awesome.
And how popular this guy is, people on our cruise said they specifically booked the Bliss cruise because they found out he was on it, which is amazing.
He should have his own Facebook
waiter,
page.
yeah. Yeah, so really interesting to see that.
He's a nice guy too.
If I remember right, there was 16 bars on the Bliss, and I think we probably tried just about
you
all
counted
of them,
didn't you?
because we had the unlimited drink package, and we didn't do it all in one day. So the benefit of ours, we had hit it at a special time, is we didn't have to pay any of the taxes or the gratuities, whatever goes along with the purchase of a drink package. So if you guys aren't familiar, the drink package is like $90 a day, and there's 7 days, so you're looking at $630, and then you have to pay the gratuities, I think is what you're paying on it. And we didn't have to pay any of that. So it was legitimately a free option for us. And they were so free willing with this. We would go up and order like 3 drinks for like 3 of us, and they would just take one of our cards because you're supposed to have just one of them. They would just look to see if we had the unlimited drink package, and they just says, oh no, fine, one's fine.
They're very lenient.
Very lenient. And we did a mimosa, and the lady gave Greg a giant glass
of them. Double the size, so 2 of them. They
were very friendly. Now we had the unlimited drink package, but they were really friendly because we've heard some other stories from other cruise lines. And if I had 2 drinks and I gave one to Greg, they would have made sure that Greg was on a dining package, and they would have got upset if he wasn't on it, even if he was just tasting it. So, yeah, the drink package. So, but there was 16 bars on there, and we tried a lot of them. I mean, we never got plastered. We don't do that. But over the 7 days, we tried different ones, and but I was surprised there was that many bars on a cruise ship. How was it for you guys? Did you have a lot of bars? And if there was a favorite one, or do you guys drink?
Yeah, so there's a lot of bars. We didn't get the drink package.
We've never gotten the drink package because it becomes one of those that you find out the break-even point, and the break-even point you're going to break down.
Right.
You know, with 7 drinks or 12 drinks a day, including port.
Right.
I mean, we'll grab a couple of drinks here and there. Plus, we had a bottle of champagne in the room.
Yeah. So I've done a video before breaking down each cruise line and their drink packages and what it costs. So, like, on average, it's like 12 beers and like 8 mixed drinks with liquor. And I can't drink that much a day, and especially like multiple days in a row. So for me, it's not worth it. But when you substitute like the beer or the mixed drink for then like a specialty latte at the coffee shop, and a soda, and then you can have like the other things, then yes, like I do see how it can be worth it, because I can drink 2 lattes a day, no problem. Like, I'm a coffee fiend. So, but it's just the alcohol portion. If it's just strictly that, then no, I'm not getting my money's worth. But if where the unlimited and specialty packages have other like options, then yeah, that would work for me. Interestingly, I'm really surprised to hear by how lenient they are. Last year, we went on a cruise with a good friend of ours, another couple, and they got the drink package and we didn't. And not that they were trying to pass drinks to us because they couldn't. They were very strict about it. Just if, I was hanging out at the bar with her, and my friend wanted to order a drink for herself and her husband, they would have to have both cards.
But I think it varies from cruise line to cruise line.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying it's interesting to hear how strict some are.
And Norwegian is very big with the packages. You get to pick, I think, from either free drinks,
free specialty dining,
cruising, or excursion, or the internet package. It's some of the
So
we had Jesse Robert Garza ask, what about milkshakes? Can you get milkshakes? Because Rafael ZIngano loves milkshakes.
They had a place called, I think it was called Coco's. And they have these specialty shakes. I think they were like $15.
Wow, that better be really a special milkshake.
They were like the Mondo ones with like all these things sticking up out of them. They were like gourmet shakes that they had there. I didn't try it. They also had like in that place, what is it, the fondue, like the chocolate fondue that you can dip fruit in there and
fun.
Put it in there. Yeah. Our Linda and Sherry, the couple that went with us, you remember them?
Yeah.
Mother and daughter. They were eating it, and it looked like it was really good. But we didn't.
Yeah,
and they had like, I don't think they had gelato there, but I think they had ice cream. But I know they had shakes, and people had talked about it. But in hindsight, maybe I would have tried it, but I just thought, why do I want to spend $15 for a shake when I can have a mimosa for free?
Right. That's pretty expensive. We were able to get milkshakes as well. There's Johnny Rockets on the Royal Caribbean ships, but with Johnny Rockets, being a gold member,
you'll buy one, you get one free.
Right. So it was
$6.
Yeah.
For one milkshake.
$6 for 2 milkshakes.
It's not bad. These must have been really gourmet shakes. We also had Alpha Traveler 1. Kenny is here, and he said he's in. Hi everyone. Can't do much work at social media. He's in Idaho, I think is what he said. He's at an airport. So welcome, Kenny. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you real soon. And sorry, I'm just going through the chats on it. So
you can only stay for a little bit.
Yeah, and also Meg from Mickey's Magic joined us, and she just popped in to say a quick hello. So welcome. I know we said hello typing, but I believe it was Baby Girl 2 joined us. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the likes, and we have 30 people watching. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And if you're new to Alanna and Rafael's channel, you guys, please definitely subscribe to them. Those of you who are creators on here, please put creators in the chat, as we like to give you guys a shout out. We have a cruising family here as well as a Disney family. Check each other's out. Definitely. Awesome channels on here. So thank you guys for coming on and all your support. So I'm sorry, how many bars did you say there was kind of at a guesstimate on there?
We didn't count.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but a lot. You know, at least 15.
Okay.
So you counted, obviously.
Well, there was a bar crawl that listed all the bars and when they were going to be at, and we knew that they said there's 16 bars, and I was thinking 16 bars. I couldn't make it through one bar, let alone 16. But it was spread out through, like, you know, the whole cruise. It wasn't like all in one day.
Right.
And then what about restaurants? So for no charge, the additional or no charge restaurants, which are included in the cruise, on the Bliss, we had there were 3 main dining rooms, which basically, from what I understood, served the same food. There was Savor, there was Taste, which were smaller rooms, and then they had the bigger Manhattan.
The Manhattan room, I think is what
it's called.
Yeah.
That was, each one had a little bit different theming of it, but they basically served the same thing. Those was included.
That was a nice room, though, the Manhattan room.
You had the buffet, obviously, and then also kind of in the middle of the ship, it was called the Local, which was actually open 24/7, so you could get food all the time, and those were included into the cost of the ship. And I think those were the ones that you could get that were included. How about you guys? What was included?
Hands down, Norwegian, I think, has the best option for variety of food. I think we had the main dining room and the buffets, you know, the Windjammer, similar to Cabanas and similar to, besides that, the Sorrento's, which was a pizza place, and the Cafe Espresso, that they had some of the, you know, cold sandwiches for free. They did have three specialty dinings, which was Chops, Giovanni's, and Izumi's. So they had Chinese, Italian, Japanese, and then Johnny Rockets, and who's another one?
The fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple different options. I think, you know, more food than you really need with all of that. You know, definitely if you're going hungry on a cruise.
So
You know,
so
like
if you
is up our alley.
yeah, so if you didn't want to spend any additional food on the specialty dining, would you have been happy enough just doing it? And what restaurant stood out the most for you of the ones that were included?
For sure. So we actually didn't spend in any of the sit-down formal specialty dinings. The only extras that we paid for were Johnny Rockets, just for the milkshakes. We didn't have like the hamburgers or anything. And we paid for Ben and Jerry's. And those were the extras for the specialty dining. We didn't eat at any of the main sit-down restaurants, which range in prices. It's like 30 extra bucks depending. But
I mean, we were happy with the food.
Yeah.
It wasn't, now the service, it changes when you're doing anytime dining versus my time dining.
And that's just our opinion. Like there's no set thing on that. But I just have a strong opinion that if you are seated in first or second dining, which is 6 or 8 p.m., I feel that the servers are stronger and just more experienced servers. More experienced servers. And when you have my time dining or freestyle dining, as Norwegian calls it, it's where I feel you have a bit more novice. So I feel the difference in the service.
That's a good point.
But not to say that it's bad. I mean, I don't want to put it down because it is still good. It's just that because, you know, we were on 5 cruises last year, I can really nitpick on the differences because, you know, you can see who's on their first sailing and who's been on their 20th sailing, on their 20th contract.
That makes sense. We also had who you just met, Juan Rodriguez.
Hi, Juan.
And we also have.
Wow, we got him doing karaoke.
Yeah,
it is amazing. Him singing.
Awesome. I would like to see that. I like to watch other people sing karaoke.
And then we also have Ross Merrill Tour Services. So welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We have on our included dining.
Well,
what stood out for you?
Are you talking about the ones that we picked with the group cruise?
No, those are the specialty dining.
Oh, okay.
Just the ones that were included. So
I liked the main hall, the Manhattan room, and I liked. Where we went to Savor, right? Yeah.
That was for breakfast.
Yeah, but I liked it. It was fun.
I actually liked the buffet. I actually liked the buffet more than the Disney buffet. I know. I'm saying something against Disney.
I really don't remember.
That's okay.
The Disney buffet though.
But what I liked about, at least on the Bliss, there were a lot of stations for food. So on a cruise, which was so big, it wasn't just one smaller area or 2 areas.
Types of food.
It was a lot. And they had Chinese food. They had
Indian food,
comfort food,
American food,
yeah,
comfort food,
pizza, burgers, fruits, vegetables, cheese. I mean, all this different stuff. Although it was hard to find a cookie on there unless you were in the solo cabins. We found that out. We found out if we needed a cookie, we need to hit someone up in the solo cabin so they can get us some cookies.
Well,
but
we did get to go there, and he finally got some of his cookies that he wanted. So
yes, but I really liked the buffet. I thought I was really impressed with it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then
I liked it.
You guys said you didn't do specialty dining though, right? You did not.
Yeah, we opted out of that. We just didn't do any of the main dining.
Besides main dining, and normally we try at least one night with buffet, but by the time we realized we haven't done with buffet, it was like the odds of lobster, and she loves her lobster. We're like, let's not risk it at this point.
Because we've noticed.
Go ahead.
We've noticed that there's also a difference in cruise line to cruise line when you sit in the buffet for dinner. So on our past couple cruises, we opted to do that. And, you see a different in how they run their dinner service in the buffets. So some, serve you, some, we'll just get your drinks for you. I'm in the business of like really comparing. So like, that's interesting to me, but we didn't do it this time. So.
Well, they did have a seafood night at the buffet. It was actually the night that one of the nights we were at the Manhattan Room, I think. And I wanted to go over there just to see what they had. We never made it. But I've heard that there's no ships that I've heard of carry lobster.
Well, the Bliss
or at least the Bliss doesn't carry lobster.
They had lobster pie on one of the restaurants, but not.
But was it even a real lobster though? That's surprising because ships of that caliber should be able to afford real lobster, especially with the prices that people pay for to even get on the ship to begin with. So I don't know why they don't have real lobster, but that is probably a big suggestion from a lot of people that they should try to do that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So the last two Royal Caribbeans that we've been on,
and Carnival too,
and Carnival. So the past two Royal Caribbeans were 5 days, and they served lobster. On the last Carnival we were on over the summer, that was a 7 or 5.
No, 5 days.
That was a 5-day. And they served lobster.
But they don't announce it. It's like on the menu, but it's not on the menu.
So if you happen to have your reservation in a specialty restaurant, you're going to miss that night. So, but also, like, side fun fact, on this sailing, the most recent one, it was really interesting because the next night they had a special appetizer on the corner of the menu. So the menus are normally printed out. They're the same menus that they use from week to week, just alternating on the days. But they had this little corner piece that they tucked into the side, and it was for a lobster, not a soup, not a bisque, but a, what do you call it? Like tomato, mozzarella, basil, I can't think right now, but it was a separate appetizer that had lobster in it. So I was like, this is really bizarre because clearly not enough people ordered lobster last night that they're adding this in so it doesn't go bad. And I was just like, so strange, because normally people will order 2 lobsters and they'll say, they'll give you an eye roll or something. So interesting. Yeah, kind of like not caprese. Yes, Ross Merrill. Thank you. I had a loss of words there. But yeah, so I ordered that and got my second taste of lobster. So
well, if it's fresh live lobster, like you go to, seafood restaurants, they have them in a tank. I would think that they could do that on a ship and then they won't go bad.
They drag them behind the ship in the water.
No, I mean, I don't like the idea of how they do it and everything. I like the ending outcome that you get to eat the food. I just don't like thinking of how they, steam them and everything. But I think that they should be able to have them in a tank, and it'll be fresh all the time. So
welcome, Haley Raven, and also Alex Downs. So thank you for joining us, guys. There was a question by Juan Rodriguez. How many milkshakes did you have, Rafael?
Only 2.
Good night, Bob and Ash.
Good night, Bob and Ashley. Thank you for joining.
I saw Amy Scott, so welcome, Amy Scott.
MG Tao said, get a double order of shrimp. It's the same as lobster. I'm sorry, MG Tao, but I beg to differ. There is nothing like lobster. I don't think you can compare shrimp to lobster in my mind. I love lobster, but I like shrimp too.
And on the subject of shrimp, there was actually no shrimp on the buffet or that I saw, and on the menu either. Sometimes you'll see it as an appetizer. And I was on the Independence.
There was.
Where?
It was on the bottom. On the big menu, it was everything on the bottom. Steak, lobster, and something else.
Sushi?
No, not sushi.
I'm talking about sushi.
Oh.
Did I misspeak? Oh, sorry. I'm talking about sushi. So yeah, no sushi on the buffet. In the appetizers, which I miss because I love sushi. He doesn't do seafood, so I take all of it. But something that's nice with Norwegian, when we were on Norwegian, is they have that one restaurant that has a lot of sushi. So
for us, we did try specialty restaurants because one of our free at sea choices was the dining package, specialty dining package. And a lot of times you get 3, but we, because of it being a group cruise, we were able to choose 4. So we did,
wonderful.
Yeah, that was really good. We did the teppanyaki, which was my favorite.
That was
awesome.
Speaking of shrimp, that was amazing shrimp. I think that's the best shrimp I've ever had. I don't know what they used to cook it, but
wow.
I had the shrimp, the scallops, and then I think, well, you shared the chicken with me, which the chicken was good, but the shrimp and the scallops were awesome. I've never tasted anything like it. So.
And we had a wasabi drink there.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't wasabi though.
It was just the name. It didn't have wasabi in it.
But I liked the other drink, I think. But I don't know what it was called now.
I can't remember now. But so we also ate at Cagney's, which is
that was the name. Shaku Shaku.
That's right. We ate at Cagney's, which is a steakhouse. We also ate at
Ocean Blue.
Ocean Blue, which is a seafood place, and we ate at La Bistro, which is an Italian restaurant. They have Los Lobos, which is a Mexican restaurant, but I was kind of questioning, could a Mexican restaurant, because we are in California where there's a lot of almost homemade Mexican restaurants, are they going to be the same quality on the ship? So we chose that night to go to Ocean Blue, but looking at videos of people, it looked actually really good. But and it was weird on the Bliss because it's basically one huge room with a wall in the middle. On this side is Los Lobos, and on that side is Cagney's, which I thought was interesting how they put it together.
Yeah.
And then there was La Cocina, which is another restaurant which we didn't eat at, but they had some other options too. But they had a Margaritaville on there too, which we didn't eat at. That's also a specialty one. But so they did have some upgrades ones. I think all the additional upgrades were good, but teppanyaki and Ocean Blue are probably our both best favorites.
Yeah.
So if you guys had to pay to go to the specialty restaurants, would you?
I would for definitely the teppanyaki if I chose it. And Ocean Blue. I would try Cagney's again because I don't think I don't even remember what I had, but I wasn't incredibly happy with it. So I would try something. And they have prime rib on it that night, and I didn't realize I could have ordered it. And I didn't order it because I love prime rib. That's one of my favorite meat.
To begin with, I love seafood more. So
so I would, yeah. To answer your question,
occasionally I eat red meat.
Yeah, but I mean, it was nice having it included, so you didn't have to pay anything extra. Otherwise, you would have had to pay about $29, I think, is what it was.
I think La Bistro, I was the least. That was the one I liked the least, just because it was in the back of the ship. And we were right above like a motor area, and the tables were literally vibrating. You felt like you were in a constant earthquake. You said
I don't remember.
You said you don't remember that, but you could literally see the table shaking and your drinks and everything. So I mean, it wasn't like violent or anything, but it was just enough. It was just like, this is not a good location to have this type of a restaurant, and it was very small. It was probably not much bigger than this room maybe, but it wasn't a very big restaurant, and just the fact that you could hear the motors and stuff, I didn't really like it that much.
I don't think we had any problems, and I heard it's all on the blades, that on the propellers, that depending on the propellers you feel more vibration, because honestly we didn't feel almost any vibration on the whole, even on the
barely anything at all, nothing. And then in comparison to a cruise right before that in November,
you could feel it
bad. Like it wasn't like people getting sick overboard type, but like it was like, whoa, grabbing the rails a little bit, and but this was like, oh, we're on a ship. So, but back to the dining, I find it really interesting because, you know, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian both have the anytime, my time, freestyle dining where you get to go and do your thing, choose your time. But it's not guaranteed that you're going to have the same server the same night. And that's where I think both would lose a little bit of that touch, where if you have if you have first seating or second seating, you are guaranteed to have the same server every night. So that's something that I really missed on this last cruise, is that we tried the anytime dining, and I don't like it. So on top of having to make reservations, and if you don't, you have to stand in line and wait. And for two of us, I just find that a little silly, because there's tons of two top tables, and it's like, the one night I'll give them the excuse because their servers went down, so the computers were down, so they like had trouble bringing people in and assigning them to the waiters. But we're just the type of people who forget to like make a reservation, just because we're doing so many other activities. And you know, the whole point of anytime dining is like not really having to think about it and just like going with the flow of the schedule for the day. And then just like, I'm hungry, let's go have dinner now. So it didn't work as well as like the idea of it did for us. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
We had, well, it was a little bit hard to gauge on that, because on our previous cruises on Disney Cruise, it was either early or late. So our times were set. This was our first non-Disney one. And because we were part of a group cruise and there were so many of us, the times were already assigned for us. So we didn't have that. But for the most part, it's what you said, cruise the time, anytime, or cruise, dine whenever you want. I forgot how you put it, but that's the Norwegian one. And I don't know. I haven't experienced that enough yet to know like how much problems it is. In theory, I think that would be great to when you're hungry, you go and get something to eat. But
Right.
I'm not sure, because we've been so much Disney and spoiled by Disney that we haven't had a chance to experience that.
Right.
And busy mama, I'm sorry, we still haven't even got to dessert. So if it is making you hungry already,
Your Greg's mom showed up.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how are you today? I slept in a little late. She actually called while we were in the chat, so sorry that we couldn't answer the phone.
Oh, she's like, this is how I'll get a hold of you.
Yes. So we've almost been on for an hour and a half. So as we wrap it up, what, independent of the seas, what would be the one feature that you were amazed about it?
Whew. There's a lot of aspects that wowed me.
don't look at me.
Okay. I think the one thing that I was really happy and pleased about was the entertainment. Just being on so many cruises in a short period of time, a lot of the production shows get old for me. And I'm not trying to say this in a way where I like 70s disco, 80s music, but they're so predictable from cruise line to cruise line on these smaller ships that this was such a breath of fresh air to have like a different style. So you would hear some of these songs and some of the productions and you feel like you're on the same ship having the same experience, but it's different cruise lines, different ships. And so that was nice to have some variety.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's entertainment and the activities. Just.
But those are two different. See, I'm choosing just entertainment. No, but activities is the water slide, the, you know.
What shows did you guys have? Like, we only had 3, I think.
One night was Journey.
A tribute band.
A tribute band for Journey. Then we had the ice show that we went to go see during the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Then we missed the welcome aboard. We did the farewell one. What was the other shows that we had?
The other one was
Grease, which was very fun. Basically, they did the whole movie.
Yeah, it was a play. And then the last one was just like a variety dancing show. But what was nice about this, and I'm so glad I like said it in the vlog, was how different the variety was, and that it truly was a variety show and not just 2 decades, and not just like one style of, you know, classic rock or, you know, whatever you want to like call disco music. But it was, the dancing and stuff was contemporary, and then it was, you know, it had that variety too. So that was really nice.
Awesome.
We had 3 shows, but we only watched 2. We had the Havana, and then we had the Jersey Boys, and then we had the other, I can't remember the name of it now. It's sort of with a P, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. When something is, the Prohibition was the name of it. But we didn't see it.
So do they just repeat the shows throughout the week? Is that how they do it, or how?
The Jersey Boys, I think, was shown twice, and the Havana was shown twice, like so 2 nights, you know, back to back. And then Prohibition was in a separate auditorium, for what I understand. So a little bit more obviously risque, but we didn't. That was, we had to pay extra for that one, and I didn't want to pay extra for it. The Jersey Boys and Havana were their stage shows that you had to get tickets for, but they were included in the cost of it. Greg, what wowed you on the Bliss? What was your...
Well, I could stop coughing. There's like something in the air that keeps making me cough. Excuse me. There goes my voice. I like the... I forget what the name of it is. The view where...
Prominent or observation lounge?
Yes. The observation lounge. I liked that. That was built for the Alaska cruises, but I mean, it's an awesome view anywhere where you go. So, and then I liked the ports that I know I'm getting off the ship, but the ports.
He was so excited about the ship, he couldn't wait to get off.
I'm just thinking about the ports because we haven't talked about them much, but as far as the ship, I liked the layout of the ship. I liked the area, not the lobby, but the area where they did like it had the restaurant on the top, and then it had like the variety shows and things on the bottom. The atrium, I think.
Well, atrium, I don't think it was called the atrium, but it's where they have the chandelier, because the atrium is where the entertainment was. That's where they did the shows, like the trivia and all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, I liked that area too. Okay. I just like the layout of it. I wasn't too impressed with the stores. There weren't many stores on that ship anyway, so not like what you guys had experienced or other ships have, like full malls, outside malls and stuff. So yeah. But I think just the restaurants, the choices and things like that. I just like the whole experience. Nothing really stood out to me too much. Maybe the go-karts probably stood out, and we didn't actually do any of the water slides, which is weird for us not to try that.
We were afraid people, if we were like to put our shirts off, we'd either blind people and they would push us back in the water because they thought we were beluga whales.
Whatever. There was one where it was like a free fall thing, and people, I've seen a video on YouTube where one lady went down, went up, and then came right back down. She was stuck, and it's in a tube, and that would freak me out. They had another, you know, the long tunnel slide where you're on a raft and everything, but that free fall one where you're stuck possibly, they had to open up a hatch, and they wouldn't be able to open that thing fast enough. If it was me stuck in there, I'd probably break out of the plastic just trying to get out, because I don't like small confined spaces like that.
For me, I would say the observation lounge was the biggest wow factor of the Bliss. I just thought it would be one huge window at the front of the ship, but it had on the side of it. So I might give a better view. So the observation lounge,
wow.
The observation.
That's actually a dolphin's face if you look at it close enough.
Just imagine the front windows being the observation lounge. It actually went all the way like to the side. So along this side, there were areas that you could recline in, little like hidden nooks. And we didn't experience it till like the third day, I think, is when we finally went to the observation lounge. And we were like thinking, why did it take us so long for us to get to this spot? Because they had a smaller version of the buffet. They had a bar there.
Oh,
nice. They had a piano player like at certain times. It was just an incredible area. And the only thing we heard about the observation is that people would take their blankets down there and fall asleep and hog the chairs. But we didn't. Yeah, we didn't experience that. Yeah, we didn't experience that. But that to me was amazing. And probably one of the biggest wow for us is I don't think people realize how entrenched we are in the Disney mentality. And we vowed we would never go on anything else other than a Disney cruise. And we, exactly, as we've become more familiar with different cruise channels, building relationships, and it gave us an idea of, hey, there's more out there, and why don't we give it a chance? And Norwegian is one of the cruise lines that actually a lot of people don't like. There's a lot of negativity about it. Now, it's a brand new ship. Carnival. It's a brand new ship. So our biggest thing is we took the chance. We did it. We had an awesome time. We were part of a group cruise, and we made some awesome friends on there. So it was one of our best trips that we had taken. I won't say what ships because we're going to do that in a later video because we're going to rank Disney versus Norwegian. But there's no comparison. I'm sorry. You might be surprised on some of our choices in terms of Norwegian versus Disney. So, but yeah, that was another wow. I was really impressed with them, and we're going on our next cruise is on Norwegian, and then we're going back to the mother ship and going on a Disney cruise.
We're going back home to Disney.
Yeah,
second home.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love that.
But
I'm so glad to hear that you guys had a great time, you know, trying something new and that it worked out and then you made so many friends. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of your videos as well. It sounds amazing. And, you know, I definitely want to hear more about your comparison as well because that just fascinates me, you know, the compare and contrast, but definitely a lot of great options, and I'm glad to hear you had a good time.
And don't be afraid to try Carnival.
Yeah,
it's one of those we've done Carnival twice. You've done 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. You're gonna get different experiences, and you're gonna find out each one of them is gonna give you a little bit different. Like the Welcome on Board show, for me, Carnival is better than Royal.
Yeah. I think that they all do things differently and they all have their strong suits. So, you know, just like really anything, you know, no one can do everything great. Everyone has their, you know, what they're good at. And that's the same with the cruise lines is that, you know, certain ones are really good at certain things. So, you know, but I think it's going to be forever changing because there are so many cruise ships being built
and I think
for every cruise line. So, you know, hey, game could change.
And one of the, I think, comments earlier that we were talking about Virgin Voyages,
yeah.
Lady Scarlet, I'm like looking at the pictures. I'm like, I cannot wait to try it out. I mean, it's probably going to be a more relaxing cruise. I'm guessing similar to like MSC or Celebrity, that kind of cruises. But I mean, it's still going to be awesome to try it out.
I can't wait to see more for that.
Yeah, especially, was it Richard Branston? Is that his name? The owner of it. So that will be amazing. So for us, I think, Jesse Robert Garza said, so if you didn't do the slide, I guess you didn't wear the Speedo.
No, no Speedos involved. Sorry.
not this time. And Dina, Cruising Through Life, said, what ships are you on next? So our next ship is going to be a Canadian cruise on the Norwegian Escape. So the Speedos will not be making an appearance on the Canadian cruise.
And then the Disney.
But 5 weeks later, guess what? They could very well be making an appearance in the Caribbean.
Yeah, like that up on the wall somewhere.
So we're at the next cruise after that is going to be on the Disney Fantasy. It's going to be a Christmas cruise. It's the first Christmas cruise of the for Disney of the year in 2019.
In November.
So those are our next 2 cruises. And then our 3rd cruise after that is we're planning on a group cruise in September 2020. We're trying to figure out when we're going to do, though.
Yeah.
How about you guys? What are your next cruises?
Right. I'm excited for you, especially because your next cruise is going to be on Norwegian again. So you'll have Norwegian fresh in your mind to compare Norwegian against Norwegian again. And then your next one is 5 weeks later, which is amazing because hashtag cruise life. So good for you guys. And group cruise, sign me up. Our next cruise.
Officially, we don't have anything on the books.
Yeah.
Unofficially, a deal popped up on my phone earlier today.
We're thinking about it.
We're very, 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 very close to doing it.
Yeah. So just have to wait and see because we don't know.
Well, we look forward to seeing more of your videos, and I want to see the ice skating rink and what that looked like. That would have been fun. We've only actually been on actual ice. Well, I've only been on it once. I think you've been a couple times, but we did it one time in Vegas where they actually had ice, and that was pretty fun. And it was a really big rink. And then the next year, it was a smaller rink, and it was the fake. It wasn't even ice. It's
like a puzzle piece.
Wood. Yeah, it was wood that clamped together.
I don't think it was wood. It was kind of like
it looked like wood, but it had like a slippery surface. What was that?
Almost rollerblading, basically.
Yeah, but you do wear ice skates, which is weird. Again, it was more for kids, I think. The other one was way better, and I think maybe just the cost. With trying to flatten out the ice and everything every night. I don't know, but it's Vegas.
It's where they put the T-Mobile Arena between what used to be the Monte Carlo, which is now part
plenty of room.
MGM and the New York Hotel. So when they had the full ice rink, the T-Mobile wasn't built yet, so they didn't have the room during that because hockey's going on at that time of the year. So it looks like Rafael, Jesse Robert Garza said, I have my high school Speedo, and when I get down to 160, whether Rafael likes it or not, I am wearing it.
Okay, then.
I don't know what to say, Jesse. It's like you and Jeff with his Crocs. I don't know what to say about you, the two of you. I gotta.
All right, guys. Well, sorry, as I almost knocked my headset off. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a blast. It's hard to believe it's already been the hour and a half just went just like that. So.
Thank you for sharing all of your experiences and everything too.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
It was a blast to be on this side of the camera.
And what's the interesting is cruising is different for everyone. What one person likes, you have just as many positives as someone likes something, and then someone doesn't like it. So it's all personal. It's just like what we were talking about before. It's like music. Everyone has their own taste in music and songs and musicians, and it's like that with cruising. What you get out of it is it could be a uniquely different experience. So it's great to see a little bit more and hear a little bit more about Royal Caribbean, which I'm very interested in. And the one drawback for me is how much you have to put down for a cruise, which is like $500 unless it's a special. Other cruise lines make it a lot easier for you. I think like Norwegian, sometimes it was like $25 to put a down payment on. So
and you have to pay it like months before the actual cruise, which
all of them,
can be a burden at times too.
Great information, you guys. Thank you so much sharing the Independence, because that was a new ship to me. I thought it was a very old and small ship, but it's when I've done some research on it before you went on, I was impressed how big it was. I didn't realize it was that big of a ship.
And like you said, it's music and Carnival. You should listen to the music a little bit. And Panorama, it's right next to you guys, and we've been actually talking about that one too, because
we watched a video on the Panorama, and I was showing Greg it, and he looked like he was really interested in it. And then a few days later, it was back to, I'm not going on Carnival.
Well, we'll look at it more.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful ship. It looks like I think as long as it's a newer ship, you're gonna have all the bells and whistles. I think all the new ships are going to be having ones. An older ship might be a different story. But
I always thought Carnival was supposed to be, you know, a nice ship and a good
it's a fun ship,
cruising company and everything. So I don't know too much about it, but I'll look into it more and everything. So you just hear people's stories and what they think and stuff, and it sometimes I guess it just throws you off. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Carnival Tennessee was my first ship. It's a small ship. It was fun because that was the weekend we got engaged. Her family, my family, everybody on the ship. It's what you guys make out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And especially if you guys are going to do a group cruise, it doesn't matter what ship you guys are going to be on because it's going to be all of you guys having fun together.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
so do you guys have any final points? Any things that you guys want to end on?
Yeah, well, you know, we look forward to seeing your cruise vlogs as well, more of that. And I'm going to have out day 2 later in the week. So all the cruise vlogs are coming right at you. A lot of Independence of the Seas, a lot of fun.
Plus Disney, that we were just saying.
Yep, Disneyland as well. So good variety coming at you in the upcoming week. A lot in the pipeline with fun excursions. You know, zip lining in the ports, a lot of fun things. So I'm excited to share it with you guys, and it was a good time. So
thank you, and that's what's so cool about your channel because it's a lot like ours. I mean, you're a huge
it really
fan,
is.
and you're a huge cruising fan. So it's we really have a lot of similar material. So what's always unique is how our style of filming and compared to how yours. So we are very happy that you guys were able to join us again. So we look forward to having you guys on in the future.
Anytime.
Pleasure. I can't wait to have you guys back over here as well. So thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody in the chat as well. You guys make it fun for us. So
thank you. So for us, we have this week, we did 2 videos on the Bliss. They were really just for us to practice on the MacBook Pro. I feel a lot more comfortable using it now. We did it on the Bliss go-karts and also the solo cabins on the Norwegian Bliss, which I thought was a unique concept. This week, we are starting our travel. And if you guys are familiar with our beginning of our trip, we had huge issues and we didn't know if we were going to even make it from Los Angeles to Miami, or if our luggage would. So it's our pre-trip video before we actually start sailing on the ship. So it's just our travel portion of it. But the cruise by day is starting now. So if you guys haven't already watched the other ones, they're coming. We'll release that on Friday. So we're looking forward to that. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for joining and your support for both of our channels.
Thank you. Yes. If you haven't subscribed to these guys, definitely check them out and subscribe to them. And as we like to end our shows, as Walt Disney says,
we are just getting started.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye guys.